welcome everybody to Riverdale. And secondly, I feel so honored today to be in the presence of such distinguished forerunners in government who set the tone for women like myself and gave us goals. And Ms. Samuels, I am very deeply indebted to you for giving me the opportunity to let women from an array of circumstances see what black women who are empowered, what we can do for the community. Prior to being elected mayor, I was a community advocate, and I wasn't a community advocate just for the note of being notarized in the community. It was from servitude to give back, because I had made my life a magnificent obsession to give somebody hope from what I had overcome. And that's the way we give back hope, is we have to go in the hedges and byways and tell people and let them know that there are powerful women that's sitting on this panel who have their own stories and struggles as to how we got here. And since I've been in office, I'm the new kid on the block, if you may say, to this. But the servitude component is not new to me. Serving as a social worker case manager and having a PhD in gerontology medicine, I'm acclimated to servitude. And in those endeavors and life circumstances and growing up with two minority parents, I know what it's like not to have and when you need. And so I brought that to the table. And since I've been in office, we've established the first thing, a crisis intervention hotline for seniors that go out and cut grass, that go out and be companions. Sometimes you just need a ride to the store when there's no family. We're accessible in the office and accountable 2 days a week. We are making sure we garnish and bring in the citizens for planning. We're on the threshold of implementing a new downtown center that will not only assist in generating revenue, also we will also be doing a new park. We're bringing in new businesses, beautification, community environment, a housing commission, and a multiplicity of things. But the bottom line at the end of the day with everybody on this panel, we want to bring dignity, culture, and class to let young women know you can be what you want to be if you're willing to work hard.
Amen. Thank you, Mayor Dr. Evelyn Dixon. And now a little commentary from me. These are actually the highest ranking black female elected officials in Clayton County. That's the majority of the women in the state senate. And I think we have 4 majority female senators. We do not have any female member of the Georgia congressional delegation. I said this in Savannah last week. I'm glad to see the Thomases here, Perry's here, at Gabio's meeting. And that was, what I want people to do is do their own research. According to research from the Secretary of State's office, which is the office where your state election information is kept, and there are no African Americans on the state elections board, so that's something we've got to deal with as well. But according to the active number of registered voters in the 13th Congressional District, which is this district, and I think you have the information that I just passed out this morning. But if you look at the majority of the active registered voters in that district, they are African American women. If you look at the 5th Congressional District, they are African American women. If you look at the 12th Congressional District, they are African American women. And as we speak, history is being made because we actually have 3 African American women running for those congressional seats. Now here's the question. Are we happy as women that there are no women who are a member of the congressional delegation? as we take this tour around the state and we raise the question, they go like, no, we're not happy. So if we are not happy, we should always realize and acknowledge the fact that we have the ballot power to change it. Now, whether we will do it or not is another issue. But our effort in this tour is to make sure that we are aware of the ballot power that we do have. Because if you have it and you do not use it, you will lose it. Now, we have the ballot power, but new people register every day. So it's not like we're going to always have it. But we do have it now. And I'm happy to point out one example, and then we'll get back to the questions. The example is a city in the state of Georgia, Auburn, Georgia. The Georgia Municipal Association says about Auburn, Georgia, that it is the only city where all women, majority women, hold every seat in city government. They realized that they had the ballot power to do it, and so they threw 3 other people out, and they elected all females. They just supported each other. Now, you know, I say to people, I'm not advocating that we take all of the seats. But I think where we are the majority, I think we should have the majority. Now that's a commentary from Rita Samuels. And now to this distinguished panel, we'll get back to the questions. And we would like for each panelist to address this. What has been your greatest challenge in the position that you presently serve in?
The greatest challenge that I've had in the Georgia State Senate has been building relationships. That is the biggest challenge you're going to ever have in trying to get anything accomplished. As you are aware, the state of Georgia elected a Democratic Senate, but we had some switchers in the Senate back when Governor Perdue was elected, and therefore we ended up with a minority Senate. We had to, for the first time in the history, work with a minority power base. And having done so, I think my greatest strength, if you will, was having a husband. My family has been my anchor, and having my husband, who is a sports advocate, talk all about not only offense and defense. We had to learn to play defense for the first time in the Georgia General Assembly. And that, I think, was the greatest challenge. But looking back over the past 3 terms, it's been one of the most rewarding, because even as a minority, we've been having significant gains in terms of what we've been able to do, and making sure that we as senior members know what to look for and know how to stop bad bills. And I had one challenge where they were saying, we took your amendment, but you still voted against the bill. My response to that is, it was still a bad bill. We was just amending it to make a bad bill better. But at the end of the day, I don't want to support a bad bill whether we made it better or not. So that has been the most significant challenge for me, is just building relationships, which I'm proud to say I can get some things done now that, you built up some seniority in the Georgia State Senate.
One of the challenges that I've seen is advocating for certain good pieces of legislation. And after the debate, that legislation failed. There have been many cases and many senators who have advocated for good pieces of legislation, who debated the issue and debated that law, and then the bill has failed. And then the other thing is opposing bad legislation. You have to look out for the citizens of the state of Georgia. So there's some legislation just bad, and you have to oppose it. And even after opposing it and having a debate on it, that legislation passes. So I think that's been one of the challenges there, is good legislation fails, and bad legislation passes.